I love the way it affects people. Since my Broadway studio, in my little studio, I loved the reactions I got from people when they saw the work I was making. And when they find out why I'm making it, or they are so impressed by the technique of it, or they just love the way it makes them feel, the way that it affects people, the way that it affects the viewer is why I love art. And I hope that I can also love the teaching part of art too, where teaching people that they can draw and make things and create things from their brain. That's another part of art that I'm just now learning to love. I'm Angel Lesnikowski, and I am a graduate student here at Fresno State. I graduated with my master's in art. I went to Buchanan High School, and I was born in Redland. I grew up a little bit in San Bernardino County, but I moved here when I was 3 years old to Fresno, and I've lived here all my life. So when I graduated high school, I knew I wanted to be a high school art teacher. So I went to Fresno State because I knew they had an amazing art program with fantastic facilities, and their credential program was really well known within the county. And so I started at Fresno State. I was working all 4 years on my BA, and right before I graduated with my BA, right before I entered the credential program, application sent in and everything, I decided to switch to get my master's first because I knew I could make an impact with my art and teaching at the same time. So my short-term goal right now is to figure out how to teach. I'm going to be teaching at Clovis Community in Porterville College starting this summer, and I want to hone in on that. I want to become a good educator, but I also want to work on my art and continue working on the body of work I'm working on and making an impact with it. Long-term, I think, is continuing to grow that, so multiple exhibitions and multiple communities affected, and having conversations with hundreds of artists and hundreds of people that are affected by the work that I'm making. That's the dream. That is ultimately the dream, and then to be successful at it so I can continue doing it for the rest of my life. Conley Art Gallery, whenever they've had a student show, I've won a few awards through Conley, including like the Best of Show from the Edward Lund Foundation and the President's Award, where my work got put into the President's House for a period of time. But I think the most significant thing I've gotten from this program was the London Scholarship, where I got to study abroad in London for 3 weeks. I got the opportunity to go to London actually right when I started the graduate program. So I started the graduate program and then I went to London. So it was my first semester of graduate school and then the London trip in that winter. And that was, there are so many memories from that are my favorite memories. Learning how to ride the tube with all of my peers, living in a flat with all of these people I really respected and friends, experiencing the art we experienced in the spaces and getting to talk to artists and the community there. That was life-changing. That made me realize I could leave California, leave the United States, and possibly be an artist from across the world. I was the academic assistant for summer arts for 2 years, and then the Fresno Art Museum took me in and I became their curatorial intern for, I think I'm going on to my second year working with them. I attempted to own a space, and I wanted it to be like a community free for all artists of all different backgrounds, for people to come and draw and paint and make a community. And so in that space, we hosted drawing nights and painting nights, and they were all free, and sometimes we'd have a model or we'd set up still lifes, and then we'd put on shows. And so those emerging artists, starting artists, established artists would be part of those shows, and that was full sacrifice and community. I paid for it with my business partner, and we both tried our best to make it survive, but we lost it in a year. So I had that happen for a full year, where I was just trying to give back to my community and do something in our little Fresno. It was awesome. And then both M Street Art Complex was where I moved to, which is our graduate studios, which are amazing facilities. And then Corridor 2122 is my newest studio that I got halfway through my master's program, which is my volunteer work. So I have a studio there where I make and produce my work, but I also help with curating their shows, and I host my own shows. So right now, for March, I'm hosting the Women's History Month show called The Wise Woman Once Said, and it's so fun. Oh, it's so good. I'm so happy with where I'm at. I am an absolute hypocrite, but for the future students that get the student of distinction, for the future students that are just trying to be the best artists, people, students in a program, you deserve to be the best person you are. You deserve all the affirmation anyone ever tells you. When someone says you did a good job, try to believe them. That is what I want to say, because I don't do that myself. And I think I need to unlearn that. I need to learn how to accept affirmation, and other students need to learn that they deserve this as much as anyone else. I'd like to thank, first and foremost, my family for raising me and making the woman I am. I'd like to thank the women mentors who have helped me through grad school and starting my career. I'd like to thank my professors and faculty members who offered me knowledge and assistance with everything I went through. And I'd like to thank my partner who did everything to support me during my graduate show and graduate school. He was the best. And if I didn't name you and I missed you, you know you impacted me, and I really appreciate you.